Okay, trying to get noticed on Instagram lately, man, it feels like just shouting into the wind sometimes.
Finally, the feed is just packed.
It really is. And just one picture, one video, it can disappear in like seconds.
Gone.
Yeah. And, for anyone really trying to stand out, trying to boost their social media profile properly, you might start looking for like platforms with tools to help.
Makes sense. You need an edge.
Exactly. And the source we're actually digging into today mentions one place, rapidboost.net, as somewhere offering that kind of expertise, to help optimize your strategy, hit those engagement targets faster.
Right, because just posting isn't enough anymore. And that crowded feed is exactly why the source material we're looking at today really zeroes in on one specific format, Instagram carousels.
Precisely. It sort of frames carousels as this unexpectedly potent tool, something that can seriously lift your engagement.
Yeah, they're not just for photo dumps.
Not at all. So our mission here in this deep dive is basically to unpack this source, pull out the really important bits, and figure out why these multi-slide posts are such engagement magnets. And maybe more importantly, how we can actually make effective ones.
Well, the first thing that jumps out from the source is the actual data. It defines a carousel simply, up to 10 images or videos, one post,
Yeah.
as a little digital flipbook.
Uh-huh.
But then it hits you with research. They cite Hootsuite and Social Insider, showing carousels get the highest average engagement rate. We're talking 1.92%.
Wow, okay. And how does that stack up?
We'll compare it to single images at 1.45% and video at 1.74%.
Mm-hmm.
So that 1.92%, it's noticeably higher. It's not just a tiny bit more.
That's significant. And the source gets into the why behind that number, right?
Yeah.
That's the really interesting part.
Exactly. It breaks down a few key reasons. First off, you just get more space, more time with the viewer.
Right, you're not confined to that single glance.
Precisely. So you have room to, actually tell a story or show different angles of a product or maybe teach something step by step.
Yeah.
You can entertain over like multiple frames.
You can develop an actual idea or narrative.
Yeah. And then there's the simple act of swiping. That physical movement, the source argues, it encourages curiosity. It makes the user interact.
Leaning in, participating, not just scrolling past.
They become active, not just passive. And then there's the algorithm angle, which the source suggests is, well, pretty huge.
Ah, yes, the algorithm.
They talk about this second chance effect. So if someone scrolls by your carousel the first time, doesn't really engage, Instagram might actually show it to them again later.
Really? How does that work?
It might resurface it, maybe starting from slide 2 or slide 3. It's like this built-in do-over, giving your content another shot at catching their eye.
Okay, that's a powerful advantage. So given that potential, the algorithmic nudge, what does the source say makes a carousel really work? What are the essential ingredients?
It boils it down to 4 main characteristics. Number 1 is focusing on storytelling over selling.
Okay, so not just a sales pitch spread over slides.
Definitely not. It's about building a narrative. Each slide should feel like a mini chapter, maybe answering a question, building curiosity, or solving a problem bit by bit.
Like the business coach example they gave.
Exactly. Start with a pain point, say, time management chaos.
Yeah.
Then use the next few slides for actionable tips, solutions, and then lead into a clear call to action, like download our guide.
That makes sense. It guides the viewer. What's next?
Second, visual consistency and branding. This is crucial. If your slides look like they came from 5 different places, it just looks messy.
Unprofessional, yeah. Hard to recognize you.
Right. So stick to your brand colors, your fonts, your overall visual style. The source even suggests using templates to make it easier and build that instant recognition.
Consistency builds trust, definitely. Okay, number 3.
Number 3, and this is maybe the most vital, value-packed content. Every single slide needs to give the viewer something useful.
Tangible value, right? Not just fluff.
Precisely. A tip, a stat, part of a checklist, a cool before and after, a snippet of a case study, something that makes them think, okay, this is good. What's next?
Yeah.
You have to earn that swipe.
Because if the first couple slides are weak, they're gone.
They won't stick around. Which leads directly into the 4th point, thoughtful slide sequencing. You can't just dump information randomly.
Needs a plan.
Needs a logical flow. Hook them fast, build their interest, deliver the core value piece by piece, and then critically end with a clear call to action.
Okay, so those are the big principles. How do we actually build one?
Yeah.
Does the source give us an anatomy?
It does. It lays out a pretty clear structure. It all starts with the hook slide, the opener.
Got to grab them immediately.
Instantly. Promise value or spark serious curiosity. Think big, bold text, an intriguing question, maybe a really striking image. The example they use is great. 5 things every entrepreneur gets wrong and how to fix them.
Okay, yeah, that tells you exactly what you'll get. I'd swipe on that.
Me too. Then after the hook, you're sliding into value. This is the core, where you walk them through it step by step.
Delivering on the promise.
Right. And the source advises keeping it simple. One main idea per slide. Don't overwhelm them. Use visuals, simple charts, graphics, photos to back up the point without tons of text.
Keep it digestible. And what about getting them involved during the swipe?
Good point. The source suggests subtly encouraging interaction within the carousel. Ask a question related to that slide's content, prompt them to think about their own situation, or even suggest tagging a friend right there.
Ah, interesting.
And they even mention using the swipe action itself, like saying swipe to find out or swipe to see the result. It makes the interaction part of the content.
Clever. Using the format itself, and then the end.
The grand finale.
Yeah.
A strong CTA slide. Call to action. The source really hammers this home. Don't leave them hanging.
Tell them what to go next.
Explicitly. Like, save this post, share this with someone who needs it, DM me for your free audit. Spell it out clearly.
Got it. So that's the structure. Now back to the algorithm for a sec. Beyond that second chance thing, how else do carousels play with it? How do we optimize?
Well, a big thing is engagement triggers. The algorithm loves engagement, right? Likes, comments, saves, shares, but also swipes. The algorithm actually tracks how many slides people view in your carousel.
Oh, interesting. So completion matters.
Big time. The more slides they swipe through, the better the signal to Instagram that your content is engaging,
Yeah.
and the higher it might rank. So designing slides that make people want to get to the end is really key.
Which links back to that second chance idea, too.
Exactly. Because Instagram might show slide 2 or 3 later, the source stresses that every slide needs to have some visual appeal and a clear point,
Yeah.
not just the cover. Each one is like a potential mini hook.
Every slide is an opportunity. Makes sense. What else?
Consistency and frequency are also highlighted. Weaving carousels into your regular posting schedule, the source suggests maybe 2 to 4 times a week if possible, helps build momentum.
Shows the algorithm you're consistently providing engaging stuff.
Right. And you need to analyze which topics perform best in carousel format and then, do more of that.
And obviously the basics still apply. Captions, hashtags.
Oh, absolutely crucial. They're not optional extras. The caption is where you add depth, context, ask more questions, prompt comments, and hashtags the force recommends using maybe 5 to 10 relevant niche ones help the right people find your valuable carousel.
Okay, seeing this in action would probably help. Did the source give any specific examples, like case studies?
Yeah, they include a few really good ones. Quick snapshots.
Cool.
There was At the Boss Files, a career coach. They use carousels for what the source called educational microblogging.
Like breaking down complex topics.
Exactly, like slide-by-slide interview tips. And they always end with a CTA, like DM me for a discount on coaching. Apparently, it drove tons of saves and actual leads.
Wow, tangible results. Nice. What else?
Then there was, at Cosmic Jewelry, an e-commerce brand. They did behind-the-scenes carousels.
Showing how things are made.
Yeah, the design process, the materials they use, even weaving in customer testimonials within the slides. The source said these got 30% more engagement than their regular single photos.
That's a big jump. Shows the power of storytelling and transparency.
Totally. Builds trust. And the last one was at Plush Pets, using user-generated content and testimonials.
Ah, featuring customer photos.
Yeah, they'd compile customer pics of pets using their products, pair them with reviews, and put it all in a weekly carousel.
That sounds like genius community building.
It really is. People look forward to seeing their pets featured, apparently drives loads of comments and shares, turns customers into real advocates.
Okay, those examples really clarify things. So for someone listening right now, wanting to get started, what's the practical step-by-step playbook from the source?
Step 1, pinpoint your goal. Be super clear. Are you educating, selling, entertaining, building community? Your goal dictates the content.
Got it. Goal first.
Step 2, storyboard your slides. Doesn't have to be fancy, just a quick outline. Hook slide, the main 3 to 8 value slides, the CTA slide, just map out that narrative flow.
Plan a journey.
Exactly. Step 3, design. Use tools you like Canva, Adobe Express, Figma templates are mentioned, keep it branded, visually consistent, and use that ideal portrait size, 1080 by 1350 pixels.
Optimize for vertical viewing.
Right. Step 4, always optimize for mobile view. Check it on your phone. Can you read the text easily? Is the contrast okay?
Crucial check. What's next?
Step 5, write compelling captions. Expand on the story, add context, include those CTAs again. Step 6, use hashtags strategically. That mix of broad and niche, 5 to 10, is the recommendation.
Thank your audience.
Step 7, schedule for peak times. Use your Instagram insights or tools like Later or Buffer to post when your audience is actually online.
Makes sense. Don't post into a void.
And finally, maybe the most important step, analyze and iterate. Look at your metrics likes, sure, but especially saves, shares, comments, and critically, that swipe through rate. See what works, what doesn't, and tweak your approach for next time.
Learn and improve. Constant refinement.
The source also throws in a few pro tips, like creating a carousel series if you have a really big topic to cover over multiple posts.
Ooh, like a mini course?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Or mixing media types, photos, graphics, even short video clips within one carousel, or using them for contests. Lots of possibilities.
Okay, so let's boil this all down. Immediate takeaways. What should someone listening do, like right now or tomorrow?
Okay, first, think about your best content topics, what really resonates. Then, map out a simple story. Hook, value slides, CTA. Create visually consistent slides. Templates help.
Get the look right.
Yeah. Make sure you add ways for people to engage, both on the slides and in the caption. Schedule it strategically. And then, the big one. Commit to looking at the results and learning from them.
And the source mentioned something about perfection, right?
Yeah, a really key point. It's not about making the perfect carousel first time out. It's about being consistent, experimenting, and learning what connects with your audience specifically.
Progress over perfection.
Exactly. So the main takeaway from this whole deep dive is pretty clear. Carousels are genuinely a standout format on Instagram for engagement, for telling stories, and for driving actual results.
It really comes down to packaging what you know or your product story or just helpful information into these engaging, swipeable little frames that grab attention and keep people interested.
Precisely. It makes complex info digestible and engaging.
And just circling back, for those who see how critical this is for their growth and maybe want some expert help optimizing this, alongside everything else on Instagram, the source did point towards platforms like rapidboost.net as places offering that kind of hands-on support to help you really unlock that growth potential.
Right, for taking it to the next level.
So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with, provocative question is, how can you take something you already do or content you already have and reimagine it as a compelling multi-slide carousel story that keeps your audience swiping right to the very end?